Hi, everyone. Welcome to the Bag Room. I'm Brian Ballengee. It's great to have you here with us. Miranda Turner is our guest. She is the CEO of MGI Golf, and they are one of the leaders in the marketplace around electric trolleys, which have become an increasing part of the American golf experience. And with an Australian-based company making their way into the North American market over the last several years, we want to talk about that story a little bit. So, Miranda, thanks for being here. First of all, can you give a little background on MGI Golf for people who might not be familiar with the brand?
Yeah, thanks, Ryan. Thanks for inviting the chat today. I really appreciate it. You summed it up very well. So, the business started 31 years ago in Australia, in Melbourne. It's my father's company and pretty much started in our garage many, many moons ago. We definitely saw a need in the market for a very, very good, tough, reliable electric golf caddy all the way back in 31 years ago. Fast forward, we moved our manufacturing out of Australia. We started globally distributing, and we had our eyes on America. Always had our eyes, always here at PGA Golf Show, whether it was just participating or we'd begun exhibiting. And then we thought, you know what, we've done extremely well. We've built this brand up to be number one in Australia, globally distributed through 25 countries. We thought, you know what, we can do this in the US. We've got this. So, 2018, we set about setting up warehouse, channels to market. Where do we want to go? Where do we want to be? We found our home here in Las Vegas, where I'm now based. I moved here last year. Time differences, not so fun with Australia. It's a long way away. So we found our home in Las Vegas and and here we are in 2024. We kind of hit, America's number one electric golf caddy last year. That was definitely one of those pinch yourself moments where, you just think, wow, all that hard work, that passion and all the team around us to get to that point. But now we're on to the next 5 years and they look, super exciting too.
You talked about it a little bit. In 2018, when you were making that choice to come to the American market, what were some of those considerations that as a company you had to think through and find some answers for that might have been prohibitive in the past to come to the American market?
Yeah, sure. Well, I think definitely, you look at the size of the golf market, right? And you think, wow, if I could just get a couple of points in that market, it's going to be big. What gave us the confidence to do it is, I think to be really confident in the innovation that we have, to be really confident in the team that we have, to have a little bit of just I suppose just ambition. But the considerations that we needed were, I suppose the considerations, gosh, what were they back then? Probably to do with knowing the market space. And I think we'd already been here and seen that. And it's really interesting how much the markets are similar in globally, so we literally picked up our formula that we had from Australia to here, and we wanted to replicate that. We knew that success, and that's really the success, I believe, is the fact that we believe in the golf industry. We didn't come here saying we want to learn how to do Google AdWords and be the best online and sell direct and be greedy. We love the golf industry. So it was very important. The consideration was to stay true to ourselves. We've always been, very much we love to support that industry, whether it's green grass, whether it's the guy that's had that golf store on that corner for 30 years, or maybe it's one of the big box retailers. We believe in everyone's success is there, and it's about building up the golf industry with the golfer in mind. We know that, health and well-being has definitely changed its way through the world. And, America definitely is wanting to make that change. And I think they have, and they are, and we're really part of that. So, we know there's a big healthy walking market here, and we're like, why are they not using electric golf caddies? The rest of the world has been using them for years. Even to the north, your friends to the north in Canada, huge electric golf caddy users. So the consideration was, you know what, now is the time. It was just a good time to give it a go, and maybe just a bit of, maybe not pure luck, but you never know who you're going to meet along the way. And that's definitely been, key to our success too.
From conversations I've had with a bunch of different folks in this space over the last 4 or 5 years, especially the last 4 years, it feels like COVID was a big benefit to walking for golf. That a lot of Americans in particular chose to ride in golf carts and play 9 or 18 holes that way. But the pandemic forced them to walk, and that they found joy in it and stuck with it, more importantly, after the COVID restrictions were lifted and they could kind of get back to playing golf the way that they knew, but they chose to stick with walking. Was that an important development ultimately for MGI and your adoption in this country?
Yeah, yeah. No, you're definitely on the mark there, Ryan. There was definitely more light put on, the social distancing factor, and people being forced to get out of that golf cart. So I never want to force anyone into my product, but I will let you know that, it definitely gave people a reason to look for another way to play golf. We were extremely we had a lot of planning. We kept our product in stock throughout the pandemic. That definitely assisted where others may not have decided to invest in inventory, to work closely with factories to get, and be a little creative in shipping. So staying in stock was very important for us. But ultimately, it was the golfer. They, looked for something different. They didn't want to go back to carrying their bag because that was probably a step back. And then to use this freedom, this ultimate freedom of having an electric golf caddy out in front of you down that fairway, concentrating on your game, but maybe also importantly, having that social time, that mental health break with your mate down that fairway and not chasing, two balls in one cart. And I think a lot of people just went, this is really the way that golf should be played. And I think, I still remember taking a phone call at around 3 a.m. because back in 2020 was doing a lot of customer service from Melbourne, and I spoke to a couple of guys in Texas, and one called and said, tell me about this. The next one called and said, all right, my mate's got one. I can't believe we've been riding carts. We're only 50 years old. What have we been doing? And this is going to last. And, they're the stories that keep us going every day, just kind of like, really having a positive impact on the way people play golf and the way they view golf as also a vital part of their health piece during the week, during the month, whether it's physical or mental. It actually does, using electric golf caddy can actually shave a couple of, points off your game. You got more energy on that back nine, and it's fun. And that's what we're also about. Aligning with, someone like Troon Golf this year, another, something I'm extremely proud of that we were able to join with. Troon's also about that, member experience, that enjoyment of golf. And we've also taken on a naming sponsor with their Troon Fit, part of their company as well, and that really revolves around that health, the care, the fit aspect, and there's just so many great synergies between us and Troon, and I'm really looking forward to activating that over the next couple of months and bringing that into anyone that might be playing in a Troon course or fortunate enough to be even a member.
What I seem to find about the best products, not just golf, just anything, is that they have some kind of convenience to them, but the way they make the person using them feel is almost as important as the convenience of that product. Do you find that there's kind of, maybe not necessarily an emotional direct attachment to the electric trolley, but how it makes them feel to be able to play golf in a different way than maybe they had been?
Yeah. You talk about feeling. I've never seen, what golfers are like. They get their new equipment. They love to talk about it. But maybe that fades a little bit over time when they're realizing that, that driver may have been great yesterday, not so good today, might be good tomorrow. The good thing about an electric golf caddy is they're always well behaved and they will continue to astound you and give you, that feeling of like, wow, I just didn't realize how great this experience actually was going to be. So some of our biggest advocates literally are the owners of an MGI because they'll tell you, we've been out there before and people are like, have you ever seen this? This is one of the best pieces of equipment I've ever invested in. And so that kind of feeling, people are also very proud and they're very, they're always very excited to show off their product. And that kind of warms our heart, I suppose, as company owners. But at the same time, yeah, I mean, it's, just that feeling on that back nine of having that extra energy, that's a game changer. That's something different than other pieces of equipment that you have out on that golf course. Yeah, okay, you might get that from a pair of shoes, maybe you're just, feeling a little underfoot, you're feeling a little better. But I mean, this is a really different type of equipment that a lot of Americans haven't had the chance to use yet. And that's how we really looked at 2024. It was like, how do we just get this in the hands of more golfers? They really will enjoy it. They will play better golf and hopefully they'll play more. I see some figures coming out today. I think rounds are, still 2% up on last year. These are like really, exciting times for golf. And also that younger generation coming through. I know that 18 to 25 is one of the biggest, age groups now. And who are they? They love their tech. And so we see a shift in who's buying our product as well, because they love the innovation. They love remote control. They love like patented aspects of our product that will keep the product on track, irrespective of the terrain. And even that built-in GPS with touch color screen, it's really kind of, it's showing everyone, well, you know what, you don't have to be 65 to have one, and you don't even have to be 40, I think the pricing is pretty competitive these days for something that's going to last a long time. It's an investment. So yeah, it's really interesting seeing who's now buying and how they react to it. That's my favorite part of what we do, is being out there and hearing people going, I just love it. I just love it. Who else can I tell? It's like, that's so cool.
It sounds like the proselytizing piece of this is, for anyone kind of in this space, is a huge piece of increasing adoption, especially in this country. Getting to see it and then have someone tell you how great it's been for them. Is there, what is there afoot to try to get more people who may not know someone who has a walking trolley or electric trolley to get one in their hands, even if it's for one hole at a time, to be able to get that feeling and go, okay, I get it now. I'm interested.
Yeah, so one of the initiatives that we're doing right now is doing short-term fleet rentals. So we're kind of like working with clubs that might fall into an overseating program, like around now, where they're cart path only, and the members are a little bit like, oh God, what? I can't get to my ball. What am I doing? This is a real inconvenience. So this short-term rental fleet that we're providing, we're literally taking 12 of our best electric golf caddies and placing them in a golf course. The member can then, use one. The course may choose to charge for that, but they're at least getting that experience. So we probably have around 6 of those out at the moment, and it's going to be really interesting to see if the clubs want to give them back. We feel that we're finally, just giving this opportunity for members, opportunity for the golf club to experience it. We believe that rusty old push cart fleet in the corner that's really making no money and no one really wants to take, but there's no other carts. Or why not invest in an electric golf cart? So we do really want to get that experience going. So that's definitely one way that we're trying to get to everyone, to give them a go. So hoping that might do the trick. Other demo, we like to do MGI experiences. So if a golf course is like, I'm not sure if my members are interested, we have sales reps around the country that will come out to the golf course, a little bit like a demo day for equipment, and just have our products set up just to gauge interest, really just break down any barriers that people might be like, how do I fold it? What kind of technology? How do I look after lithium? And we can kind of just cut through some of that and get them into their hands.
For folks who maybe are thinking about trying to make that purchase and getting into this space of equipment, what does innovation look like for them? What should they be looking for when they're shopping in this space? Is it kind of more akin to a cell phone these days or a mobile phone where there aren't as many radical leaps as there were when they first came out? I mean, what should people expect from one generation to the next, and when they're trying to time their purchase?
Yeah, so that's interesting. The good thing about MGI is that we do like to keep the technology going for, we've got a longer shelf life. So, you will see our models stick around for around that 4-year period. So, Apple, they're around for every 2 years, maybe a soft launch every year. We try to do around, 4 years. That allows us to really nail down what is new, what is out there, and also ensure that we carry spare parts and warranty through that period. But for somebody who's coming into the market or this category for the first time, the first thing I always look at is the course that you play at. So if you're playing it somewhere regularly, I always look at terrain. Is it just flat, moderate? Is it quite undulating and challenging? And then therefore you can match that better to a particular model. So for, hilly terrain, I'd be looking for our MGI, at least our X5 model. So it's got that downhill speed control, like cruise control in your car. It's got an electronic park brake to assist you with an absolute rock solid stop. So I'd be looking for, features like that in our MGI range. Anything up from an X5 will have that downhill speed control. The other one I think about is technology. What I love about being in the American market is, nobody's afraid of technology. They'll always give it a go. So we're finding now like 90% of the market wants remote control. I won't call anyone a control freak because my family were a complete control freak, so I get that. But it's about just that ultimate freedom. So we have a great range of electric golf caddies where you're literally standing behind and you're just guiding it. It's still powered, it's still electric. But with a remote control, you've obviously got this freedom. So, if you're looking for that technology, MGI has one of the largest range of remote control. And then again, probably taking a step back to that terrain, do you want 3 wheels or 4 wheels for that added stability? So MGI is probably one of the only companies that also offers 3 or 4 wheels, depending on, what you're looking for. And then there's price. We like to talk about that last because it is a long investment. Most people will want to keep it for 4 or 5 years. We have a 3-year warranty, but people keep it longer. I mean, it's a beautiful piece of equipment. It's built to last. It's built to be played 365 days a year, like in Australia. But then there's budget too. So you can get into an MGI as, for as little as like $699, and you can spend up to nearly $2,000. So, I'd be looking at terrain to match features, technology to suit what kind of tech you enjoy, learning about your game or improving your game, and then there's budget as well.
Miranda, where can people go to find out more information about MGI golf trolleys and find out for themselves, kind of play around with the full range and do some more research for themselves?
Yeah. Well, of course, we're online, so mgigolf.com. That one's pretty obvious. If you see someone with an MGI, go and talk to them. They will absolutely, and I can guarantee they will have a good experience. And if they had a problem, I'd like to say that, that they called MGI and they were looked after. It's very much like a car as well. So, if anything happens, we're always here. But of course, green grass, go and talk to your golf pro. Ask them if they can get more information, or if you've got, your favorite golf retail store. You will see a lot of our product out on the floor in a lot of stores. You can go in, touch, feel that product, see how, quiet they are, how easy they are to fold up and assemble to put in and out of the trunk. That's what they're designed for. Or if you're, fortunate enough and your golf pro can order you one and stick it out the back in storage, even better. But yeah, we really do, like we mentioned, we really value the golf industry. We really believe in supporting the people in it. And so a lot of those avenues really filter back into that.
Well, Miranda, thanks so much for spending some time with us. We really appreciate it. Hopefully we can talk again soon.
Yeah, thanks, Ryan. I really appreciate your time too.